Tesla spending big in 2026, flagging at least $20 billion in capital expenditures for the year.
The kind of big headline for me was the capital expenditures commitment, $20 billion this year. As you know full well, it's way beyond what they might do.
Some context for those of you following along at home. 2021, Tesla spent just over $6.5 billion in CapEx. 2022, $7.16 billion. 2023, $8.9 billion. 2024, $11.3 billion. A meaningful drop in 2025, just $8.5 billion, down roughly 25% over 2024. So $20 billion in CapEx, a little over a doubling from the most recent few years. So 2026 could be the first year in many where we see some erosion of Tesla's absolutely gigantic mountain of cash and investments, which as I record this, is not far off $45 billion.
In a typical year. So let's start with that. You know, it's clearly a signal that these things that Elon Musk has kept you guys looking to the horizon on for some time, now it's on paper. It's time to act.
Yes. Well, you know, I think the capital expenditures are not too surprising to us. We had fairly aggressive investment estimations in our public valuation model. But that's all to say, you know, I think the next 5 years for Tesla will be dominated by the Robotaxi story. You know, we've previously published, we think this could be attributable to over 90% of the enterprise value for the company in that time period. And, you know, in order to put many vehicles on the road, which is their plan, they need to invest. Of course, a lot of that money is going into factories, AI infrastructure build out. So, you know, I think the story here is that Tesla, while they were, you know, second or behind Waymo in terms of a commercial launch for a Robotaxi platform, they have an incredible scale that is really not matched by anyone in terms of the public announcements that they've made of putting actual vehicles on the road.
Right. On Terafab specifically, you and the team at ARC know full well, a fab at that scale is a fixed cost of $20 to $30 billion. And the CFO was clear, this is not reflected in their CapEx forecast. But there's a reason that the industry doesn't put memory, logic, and packaging on one site. That doesn't exist, but it is Musk's proposal. How seriously are you taking that?
Well, I think, you know, he's always been a very ambitious CEO. I would interpret this as, look, he's concerned Tesla needs a lot of chips. They have grand ambitions for AI data centers in space. We think, you know, that could be a really interesting play, especially as launch costs continue to decline. It could actually be cheaper than terrestrial than data centers on Earth. So, you know, I think the way to interpret it is that he knows that he needs a lot of chips. We've seen him vertically integrate in the past in the electric vehicle business, for instance, and parts of the supply chain that he did not see popping up in the U.S. that they needed in the U.S. So, you know, I think this sort of fits in with what he's done in the past, albeit, yes, it's a major announcement for Tesla. So I'd say broadly that, like, I would interpret some of it as a call to action that, you know, he is looking out there at the supply chain. But yes, for now, they have this very ambitious plan. And again, I would focus on at least from a valuation perspective, on the Robotaxi picture here. Of course, they'll also use those chips for Optimus, but I would focus on Robotaxis.
Certainly over ARC's 5-year valuation time horizon for Tesla, Robotaxis is going to do a lot of heavy lifting. And it's also true that the $20 billion or more of intended CapEx for 2026 from Tesla didn't include anything at all to do with chip fabrication, if I recall correctly, nor anything to do with massively scaling up solar production, both of which will be quite capital intensive. It's worth pondering all the rumours now circulating about the potential of SpaceX reverse merging into Tesla, alternatively SpaceX and xAI merging and then IPOing, the synergies between these companies with AI data centers in space, xAI's Grok integrated into Tesla vehicles, Tesla's vehicle fleet with exclusive real-world data stream and be invaluable to xAI for training, for eventual artificial general and then artificial superintelligence. So many synergies here. It does make you wonder. Musk said on the Tesla earnings call, he sees a major bottleneck about 2-3 years from now being chips and also RAM. If true, if Tesla is going to get into the chip fabrication business, they're not going to dilly-dally. And for those who don't know, it typically does take a while to get a chip fabrication plant up, running, and cranking out high volumes of chips. So here's where I'm going with this. If in addition to the enormous capex this year, which most likely will chip away at Tesla's, call it $44 or so billion of cash and investments, my best guess would be maybe to the tune of around, call it $6 billion. So end of year, based on $20 billion in capex and a fairly stable business in terms of revenue and margins, it might end the year with $39-ish billion in cash and investments. But if they massively ramp up solar production and get into the chip fabrication business, we could be looking at further investments in the tens of billions of dollars. Now, at some point over the next few years, I suspect that the revenue and profits from Tesla's Robotaxi business are going to be so fucking absurd, they're not going to need to worry about cash ever again. But that's not currently the case. Tesla may, at this point in time, be considering how to alleviate this chip and memory bottleneck a few years from now. Do they dip into their monstrous cash and investments? Again, the balance is, call it $44 billion. Or possibly raise capital. And if it's the latter, if they do decide to raise capital, how would they go about that? I'm starting to think there's more than meets the eye here with the rumours of a SpaceX and XAI merger and IPO, or the potential of SpaceX folding into Tesla. Keep in mind, with Tesla's recent investment in XAI, which should settle a couple of months from now at most, I think, there is the possibility that SpaceX and XAI merge, then IPO, then themselves raise fuck tons of capital. I'm talking tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of billions of dollars. By the way, literally, they could raise like $50 billion, no problems. And themselves invest aggressively in AI infrastructure, solar capacity. There could be some partnerships, some collaboration with Tesla here. After all, XAI, the AI juggernaut, might build out so much AI training compute that Tesla could essentially lease training time, as opposed to Tesla having to invest the tens and tens of billions of dollars themselves. What is absolutely clear is that Musk's empire, specifically Tesla, SpaceX, and XAI, between them, will no doubt, in the next few years, be investing many, many tens of billions of dollars in AI infrastructure, including training compute, solar, and chip fabrication. Something is brewing.
And let's focus just on what you have told the market you anticipate. If I'm right, by 2029, what is it? The stock will hit 2,600, 88% of the company's value will be robotaxis. And you've talked about the millions of robotaxis that really could be produced by then. To that end, how integral is the XAI integration, if we're going to think about integration? Is that important for the story and the $2 billion, well, basically capital allocation that was made towards it?
So, of course, we hadn't previously accounted for that. The way that I would think of it as, on the call, they mentioned, of course, they're making Grok available in the vehicles. I think the more interesting parts of the story are, of course, they could potentially share AI infrastructure investment and mutually benefit from each other.
Okay, Tasha just nailed it there. But the potential of these companies to share AI infrastructure, benefit from one another. Now, I've said this in the past. Tesla has the real-world data stream of real-world data streams via their fleet of vehicles. This data alone has to be worth many billions, if not $10+ billion. Unlike the open internet, upon which you can train AI with text, video, and images, there is no equivalent open source repository of real world data. If you don't have physical objects, e.g. vehicles, covered in cameras in the real world, in the millions, you simply cannot collect the necessary data to train AI to operate effectively in the real world. Tesla's the only company that has this data stream. And the current exclusivity of this data is not where the real value lies. It's that for another company to replicate this, they would need to spend tens of billions of dollars, if not $1 trillion+, putting vehicles on roads covered in sensors. Tesla's global fleet now, give or take 8+ million vehicles and growing rapidly. If you think through what would actually be required to begin capturing data at roughly the same order of magnitude as Tesla, you'd need to put 8+ million vehicles on roads instantly, covered in cameras, the same infrastructure, the auto labeling, the whole thing. There's no magic button you can press, unfortunately, to do this. The best case scenario, to avoid having to spend $1 trillion+, I'm not even exaggerating, by the way, would be for a company to begin covering vehicles already being produced and sold to consumers in a suite of cameras and sensors. And then, of course, somehow recruit all the AI gigabrains, build the infrastructure, the auto labeling. Good luck with that. But even if this was the case, and good luck convincing a legacy auto company to cover their vehicle in cameras, even if you're willing to pay for it, what's in it for them? Oh, you're going to have to pay them as well just for the privilege. And they're obviously going to want to cut as well. Let's say all in it costs you $4,000 to cover a vehicle in cameras, including the actual physical hardware, the cameras themselves, plus all the engineering adjustments required in design, in manufacturing, the adjustments to the production lines, the whole thing, plus somehow magically getting all the AI talent, getting everything set up behind the scenes, building the data flywheel. Let's say it's $4,000. In order for you to put 8 million of these vehicles on roads, just the additional cost of covering vehicles that were already going to be manufactured in cameras, the associated cost there, that's 8 million times 4,000. You're looking at $32 billion. But that doesn't even get you caught up with Tesla, because they've had a fleet of millions and millions and millions of vehicles collecting data for the better part of a decade. So as I was saying, Tesla's global fleet of vehicles and the exclusive real-world data stream at massive scale itself is clearly and easily worth many billions, if not tens of billions of dollars. And with Tesla's $2 billion investment in XAI, there's now the very strong possibility of some kind of collaboration, exclusive licensing, e.g. XAI gets exclusive access to Tesla's real-world data stream for training. In exchange, Tesla gets a little bit of timeshare on XAI training compute. There is some serious, massive potential upside to Tesla, SpaceX, and XAI being in bed together.
He did mention that Grok could sort of act as this like maestro for Optimus and for the Robotaxis in terms of like networking them together and sort of being the AI control center, if you will, for Robotaxis and any sort of like large scale Optimus project. So that's how I would think about that investment.
Let's talk about this Robotaxi unlock then. What needs to fall into place for the 2029 moment to occur from your perspective? Because at the moment we've got just a handful in Austin that don't have someone in the driver's seat. How quickly does that scale, do you think, in realistic nature?
Yeah, so you're correct that there really are only a handful that currently have no one in the driver's seat. They did say, though, that they have 500 robotaxis and that they plan to double that every month. I mean, if that's true, if you look at Waymo's fleet, the last reported number we saw was about 3,000 cars. So in other words, Tesla could surpass Waymo's robotaxi fleet within 3 months. I mean, I think that's incredible if you look at the fact that Waymo launched the service back in 2019. Right. So again, I would focus on the fact that this is like unmatched scale. They're a vertically integrated player. They do not have to partner with other auto manufacturers. This also gives them a cost advantage. So in the Big Ideas presentation that we just published, we estimate that they have a 50% cost advantage over Waymo on the next generation vehicle if you compare it to the Cybercab. So this is really what matters for Tesla scaling robotaxis that competitors do not have.
Once again, I'd just like to say rest in peace, Waymo. It was good while it lasted. You just can't compete with Tesla's massive cost advantage, let alone their general solution, let alone their scale. Musk estimating that Tesla's fleet of robotaxis could double every month. Let's just see what happens. Now, obviously, it's an estimate. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed to happen, but Waymo's entire fleet today, just a few thousand vehicles. Dasha mentioning Tesla could overtake Waymo in a matter of months. So let's see how many doublings until we start to get rather ridiculous. Double 500 once. 1 month, we're at 1,000. Then 2,000. Then 4,000. 8,000. 16,000. 32,000. 64,000. 128,000. 256,000. 512,000. A million robotaxis. How many doublings? Give or take, roughly 12. Roughly a year. Is this going to happen? Don't know. But if this did happen, suddenly we go from 500 to a million robotaxis in the blink of an eye.
On top of that, they have a data advantage. If you look at Waymo's miles, we estimate they're doing around 400,000 per day. Tesla gets 17 million miles of FSD data per day that they can use to train the fleet. So that is something that competitors just do not have in the robotaxi front. And it's important.
Not only do not have, but cannot get, no matter what you do, no magic button. The only way any of these so-called competitors would get that equivalent amount of data is to pay Tesla to license it.
That scale is important because we think that what will drive robotaxi adoption is a reduction in the price per mile. So today, human-driven ride-hail costs over $2 per mile on average. We think at scale that could be profitably priced at 25 cents. Yeah. But the reality is there's a lot of headway in between that $2 and 25 cents to make profit.
Yes, can confirm. Autonomy going to be a major money printer. So back to the $20 billion in capex in 2026, not including anything to do with chip fabrication or massively scaling up solar production. Tesla's clearly going to be investing like crazy over the next couple of years. And of course, being one of, if not the most resourceful company on the planet, on the back end, for every $1 billion Tesla's investing/spending now, we can expect many, many billions of dollars of annual profits. But the real question at this point in time, how do the rumors about SpaceX XAI, potential merger and or IPO and or a potential merger with Tesla play into this? As I said, there are some mutually beneficial arrangements here. I haven't heard anybody else speaking about the actual value of Tesla's real-world data stream. Again, we're probably talking $10+ billion of real value there. I would love at the very least, it's so obvious that Tesla is sitting on a gold mine and may be able to leverage that to avoid having to raise tens of billions of dollars and instead to save tens of billions of dollars by being able to access, for example, enormous amounts of AI training compute from XAI in exchange for XAI gaining access to the real-world data stream for their own AI training needs. Or better yet, XAI just becoming part of Tesla. Wouldn't that be a massive win? Now, I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you with absolute certainty that something is going to happen. Oh, thanks for the fucking insight, you retard. I could have told you that. No, but seriously though, something's brewing behind the scenes here. The rumors about SpaceX, XAI, potential mergers, folding in, IPO, something's going on. Each of these companies has something or multiple things that would be invaluable to the others, either now or in the works. So watch this space. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has been part of my daily health protocol for almost half a decade. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals and helps me fill in nutritional gaps while supporting energy, digestion, and immune function. It also has prebiotics and probiotics to promote gut health. I take my health very seriously, and so should you. Try AG1 today by visiting drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment and enjoy a free welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 travel packs. That's drinkag1.com/SMR.